My name is Jayde. I'm part of a group of enabled warriors that you've probably never heard of. We're fighting back against our invisible illness and taking the dis out of disability. We don't give sympathy to our symptoms, they enable us to be the warrior that we are. If you ask doctors and nurses, they'd say what we're doing is impossible. But pushing the limits of our conditions is something that we have to break through every single day. See, we push the limits. We are mentally strong, and we can do anything. The question is, how far can we push those limits? This podcast will give you the answers. I'm Jayde, and this is the Disabled to Enabled podcast. Hey Enabled Warriors, and on our show today we have an amazing warrior. She is the owner of J&J Event Planning, which she created when she was 22 years old. She's currently competing in the Young European International Pageant with the finals coming up in November. She was runner-up last year, and this year she's going to kick it. She's going to win. Yes, you're going to get it. Fundraisers for PID UK, which stands for Primary Immune Deficiency, and she's raised over £1,000 for that so far, which is amazing. The money from that goes straight into centres that look after people with the condition who require treatment just like she does. So she herself has a condition called CVID, which stands for Common Variable Immune Deficiency. And hopefully she's going to tell us a little bit more about what that is and what that involves shortly. I'm quite excited to hear more about that. So on top of that as well, you also have chronic fatigue syndrome and a side of B12 deficiency. And on top of that, she also has another rare condition that I actually could not pronounce because it's very long. So I've conveniently missed that out. So you can tell me what that is in a minute. But that rare condition affects 1 in 50,000 people, and that's where her immune system doesn't work properly. So she's here to tell us how on earth she manages to run a business and do all the things that she wants to do. She's amazing. Enabled Warriors, please help me in welcoming the amazing Jayde Fleming-Smith, everybody! Woo! How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, amazing. I'm so looking forward to hearing more about what you do today and just more about you in general. It's amazing. So can you tell us, to start off with, who you are, what you do day to day? What's your day-to-day life like?
Okay, so I'm 27. I run my own business, which is J&J Event Planning. Set that up when I was around 22. I also teach dance 1 day a week as well.
I did not know that. Amazing.
Very, very busy. I have a little puppy who takes up a lot of my time. He's on the bed behind me, so if you hear snoring, I'm very sorry. So the rest of my time, other than that, which is a lot, is kind of spent hospital, doctors, managing all the other stuff that happens in my life. And I think it's really important. Managing is an important word. You do have to learn how to manage.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're so busy.
Yeah, I'm so interested to find out just how you just get through each day, because like event planning in itself is a really, really hard thing. I mean, like my partner was a wedding singer for quite a while, so we saw the kind of the I was going to say the backside of it, but that doesn't sound very good. And now I can't think of another word. Typical. So we kind of saw the behind the scenes of the event planners almost. So we saw them setting up, and then they were still there packing away at like 3 a.m. It was crazy. Yeah. So it's a really, really demanding schedule, isn't it?
Very, very full on. Absolutely. Lots of hard work.
Because you do quite big events for like celebrities and things, don't you now?
Yeah, so it started with me kind of, I was a nanny when I was young.
Really?
I was a nanny for years, and I would be involved in planning the kids' parties that for the families that I worked with. And dare I say, I was quite good at it. So then it kind of escalated and organically grew from there. So I just continued to take on more responsibility in terms of parties. I always said I would never do a wedding.
I don't blame you.
The first event I did was a wedding, and I am like such a romantic. Like I believe in like weddings. I love all of that. So weddings are my absolute dream. I really do live my dream job. I never wake up and think, oh, work today. I always think, yes, I'm so excited to get to work. I think I'm really lucky. I know a lot of people don't feel like that, so it kind of makes up for all the other stuff that I've got going on, having a job that I love.
Yeah, definitely. That's just amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more about how your kind of diagnosis happened, and like what was the kind of thing that made you go, oh, something's not right here?
So I was always sick when I was young, always upper respiratory. So I have a lot of mouth ulcers. I would always have sinus infection, chest infection, tonsillitis, just lots of problems, chest infections, all sorts. I was always on antibiotics. I missed a lot of school. And the doctor would always say, she'll go out of it, you know, putting it down to germs at school and other kids. And that is a thing, absolutely. But it didn't really get better. So I got to about 18 and they were like, this isn't stopping. So I saw a haematologist that kind of looked into my blood work a little bit more and found basically we have two types of antibodies, and my body wasn't making the one type. So that's what they found. They sent me, I had lots of horrible tests done, because that doesn't necessarily mean you have the condition that I have. That problem could be from a lot of different other, sometimes nastier illnesses. So we went down the route of lots of investigations trying to find out what was wrong, and eventually I got diagnosed. I can't remember if I was 18 or 19, something like that, but I think that's a really difficult age to get diagnosed with an illness like that. You feel like it's the end of the world, but it's not. It's really not. But you do, I think 18, 19, you're just able to go out and drive and drink and do all those things. So
and then you kind of almost feel like it's taken away all of a sudden, and then you're like, oh, I've only just been allowed to do this, and now I'm like, can't do anything. Like, what?
Absolutely. And I have to say, at the clinic I go to, I don't know about others up and down the country, but everyone is older, like significantly. So it's kind of like I don't really feel like I have anyone to talk to that much there, or we don't have as much in common. So it can be quite hard. I think a lot of young people, the diagnosis process takes so long that I think people get diagnosed later on in life. I think that's the only reason, really. But I am quite. It makes me feel young when I go there. It's a good thing, I guess.
Because I bet it is hard as well to see older people who are more further along, maybe in their condition, and that's quite a hard thing as well for a young person to go in and see that. To be honest,
I think the positive you have to take out of it is that this illness, it doesn't have a cure. It might one day, but it does have a treatment, and it's not just one treatment. Like there's options. So I think that's the positive you have to take from it.
Yeah, definitely. And the other positive as well is that when those older people were probably first diagnosed, there was probably a lot less treatments available.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
We are so lucky at the moment to be in a position where there are so many treatments, they're coming out all the time.
The clinic that I attend, like now there's lovely, beautiful, like chairs, like reclining chairs, really like soft and padded, but I believe only about maybe 6 years ago was when they got those chairs. Before that, it was the plastic, like school chairs. So, yeah, exactly.
That makes you feel special, huh?
I know, but can you believe people used to go and sit for like a 2-3 hour treatment on a plastic school chair? So that's why I think the fundraising is so important. Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's amazing. So what kind of symptoms do you feel like on a daily basis, or do you not feel kind of symptoms on a daily basis? Is it more of a kind of you have a treatment and then that's it for now?
So day to day, my biggest issue is the chronic fatigue. I don't think, in terms of other people that I've met and spoke to, I don't think my fatigue is as awful as theirs. I'm quite lucky that I can do, go out and do normal things. But when that tiredness does hit me, it's like drunk tired, like exhaustion. So that's hard. But I think the most important thing I've learned from that is like accepting it. Before, I'd get frustrated that I needed to take a nap. I'd be really annoyed with myself. Whereas now I'm like, I'm going to feel so much better and I'm going to be able to get more stuff done today if I just accept that I have to go lay down and get on with it. I think it's also hard for other people to accept. You tell them that you take a nap every day and they're like, how old are you? Like, they laugh at you. It is hard to explain to other people, but I think accepting is really important. So that's my kind of biggest issue day to day. And then in the longer term, the biggest side effect of the treatment that I have is migraines.
Oh, okay. That must be so annoying.
Really, really hard. Basically, my migraines happen. So, for example, if I have a treatment on a Wednesday, I will typically get the migraine on the third day, so Saturday. So if I'm seeing a client or I have an event, I have to work everything around it, and then it's not always guaranteed on the third day. It can come on the second or the fourth. So it's quite difficult. I've been hospitalised with those migraines a couple of times now, so that's probably the worst symptom that I have, but it's not every day, thank God. I don't think I could go.
Gosh, no. So what kind of things do you do to kind of manage it, and how do you manage to get everything done and still have that?
So with the migraines, it's really difficult. I do have to depend on other people a lot. I think finding good staff that you trust, that's really important. Obviously, my little business, it's my baby. I don't really like handing it over to anyone.
No.
But I'm learning to. I really am. And just committing to those couple of days when I do have a migraine, saying no, like I'm not going to do anything. It's hard, but I think you have to do that, or it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, exactly. So do you find that your partner is quite helpful as well? Does he kind of get involved in it?
Absolutely. So we set the business up together, like him. It's called Jay and Jay, so we're Jayde and Joe. However, we argue constantly when we're working together.
Oh no.
It's a nightmare. So he still does like the accounts and everything behind the scenes, but on event days he typically steps back a little bit. So he has his own job now and does his own thing, and I think it's worked out better for us. Absolutely. But in terms of my illness, he's super supportive. Always, what's the word I'm looking for? The voice of reason. He is. When we go to clinic and I'm having all this information thrown at me, I find it quite overwhelming. Whereas he's quite a good rational decision maker, because I suppose if it's not you, it's affecting, the emotions are a bit less. So he's good with stuff like that. He's really helpful, because a lot of people expect so much from you, and some days it might look like you've got more to give, but you really have.
It is as well. I mean, going back to what you were saying about the chronic fatigue thing, I think because I have that as well, and like the most annoying thing that I find with that is when you're catching up with someone and you're going, oh, do you know what, I just feel absolutely exhausted and wiped out, and then they're just like, oh yeah, I'm tired too, I've worked all day today, and you're like, no, it ain't the same. It's not the same. No. But it's so hard to communicate what that feels like, isn't it? So
really hard. I know people, like I've got friends that have got a newborn baby, things like that. You can't dare tell anyone that they're not tired, because I'm sure that they are. But it's a different type of tired. It really is. The only way I ever describe it is it's like drunk tired. It's like my head is heavy, like I have to sleep.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it's like I've got a plug somewhere that's just come open, and I was like rushed out. It's the weirdest feeling, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was it like for you having infusions for the first time? Because I know that's the your main kind of medication, isn't it? Is going into hospital for infusions and things.
Yeah. So I had a massive phobia of needles, like huge. Yeah, at first. I mean, I'd have blood tests and stuff like that. But, you know, normally, my fiance, he's never had a blood test. He's like 28. To me, that's just crazy. How he's got through life. Yeah, I know. So I was really scared at first. But I think one thing that I've learned was something my nan always told me when I was a kid, and I thought, oh, what are you talking about? She always used to say, like, just look the other way, don't look, expect a sharp scratch, and it will all be over. And I used to think, no, it's so much more than that, but it's really not. Like, it is really not. Like, they know what they're doing. You just got to look the other way and get on with it. I've got a lot better with needles. Like, I'm not scared of them at all now. But at first, yeah, I was really frightened, and I also really struggled with the boredom of sitting there.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we have, like, in clinic, there's no internet, like no Wi-Fi. There's 3G pushing for 4G if you're on a good network. So it's pretty boring, and we just have like a radio on in the background, no TV, nothing like that.
Gosh.
So I think it's similar to being on a flight, but you don't get the holiday at the end.
All the free snacks. I mean,
exactly. I mean, I do try and take healthy snacks. They do bring like hot drinks and stuff, but I do try and take food. But the best way I've found to get through it is I just take some work with me. I just sit, pop up a little desk, do a bit of work. If I can get enough internet, watch series. I think keeping yourself busy, like, I think if you sit there being miserable that you're not well, it's not going to help anyone. You've got to be prepared and take something to keep you entertained through the process.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like taking things like books or even like listening to podcasts. I mean, like, you can download those beforehand, can't you? And then just kind of sit there and listen to it. So
yeah. It's good to be prepared.
Yeah. Did your partner go with you to all of your infusions? Or?
He doesn't. Not now. He's like working normal. Because clinic only do infusions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Fridays.
Right.
Between like 9 and 2-ish. Don't even think it's that late. So it's quite limited, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to hate going on my own, but now I just got on with it. Yeah, I did used to hate it. It's nice. I have a few friends who live around there. Like, they'll pop in and see me.
Nice.
It is nice if you can take someone. But when I'm working, I'm not bothered about someone being there anyway. I just want to get my work done. So sometimes I get the most work done there. Because if I'm at home, there's so many distractions, and I do work from home. But there's nothing else, and I can't go anywhere because I'm attached to a drip. So I have to just get on with it. So
yeah, and I suppose you don't really like chat to anybody else that's in there.
Sometimes I know this might sound like really bad, but once you start, it's a bit like being on a flight. If you start a conversation with the person next to you, like, that's it. The next 3 hours of that flight, you're chatting to them. So if you want to do a bit of work or take a nap, or it, and quite often they are people, quite often elderly people that are just, they want someone to chat to, and I will sit and have a conversation. But when I just want to get my work done and be focused, I kind of keep myself to myself a little bit. I know that's bad, but I'm being honest.
It's fair enough, though, isn't it? It's fair enough. Like, sometimes you do just want to just get on with things, and it's the most important in the world when you've just got someone like trying to make conversation, and I really don't want to make conversation.
No, exactly.
So, yeah.
Good. And nobody can go anywhere. Like, you're stuck. Like, that is it. And whenever I have to go to the bathroom at clinic, I always have the dodgy drip stand with the dodgy wheel, and it takes so long to just have to like go pee. It takes forever.
So how long does it take when you have to have these infusions? How long are you there for?
My rate is really slow because of the migraines. So it, like a normal person can go up to probably 250 mil an hour, whereas I try not to go over 80. And I'm also on a very low dose at the moment because of the migraines. I'm nowhere near, my levels are very low at the moment because they're trying to balance out the migraines and everything. So I will have to up the dose, but I can be there typically 2 hours, sometimes 3. Yeah. Maybe less if I up it a bit, but I'm not supposed to. So yeah, I'm meant to have like slow and quite a low dose at the moment, just to try and combat this migraine issue. So that's kind of, yeah, that's where we're at the moment.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Oh, wow. I'd be taking like big bag of hampers, snacks with me, and just like all sorts.
I'm like trying so hard to eat healthy at the moment, and it's really difficult when you're there because you just want chocolate and crisps.
I think that's allowed when you're having an infusion. I mean, you've got to have some enjoyment out of it somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what ways have you found really well in kind of managing your illness? Because is it something that is triggered by certain things, or is it?
No, it's not triggered by anything. It's just something, but it's genetic, so it's just something I have to deal with all the time. But I think, like I said before, accepting is really important.
Yeah, totally.
And learning to, which I'm still learning, to take time for yourself and put yourself first. I find that not just really hard, like nearly impossible. I do find it really hard, and I do have to be told off quite often by my family. So yeah, I think that's a good way of coping. I would say to anybody that kind of felt like they may have something similar or similar things going on, you know your body. And although I was told again and again and again, she'll go out of it, I think even as a like 14, 15-year-old, I knew that I wouldn't. And I wish I had kind of stuck up for myself a little bit more. But when you're a kid, you just look at your mum and you're like, Mum, talk to the doctor.
Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong with me. So yeah, I think fight for it, because that's the only way that you are going to get the right care. You have to be honest with yourself and how you're feeling, and that I'm saying it like it's so easy, but it's really not. It's quite hard to get up every day and think, right, back to the doctors, let's try again, let's get a referral, let's get down the right route. And what I have is it is really rare, but like I said before, the diagnosis process, that's hard to say, takes quite a long time.
It does, yeah. So before we go on to the secrets round, could you tell us what that really long term was for the honesty you have? So you're 1 in 50,000.
Panhypergammaglobulinemia.
Okay. How do you remember that?
So I honestly, the doctor would come up. So if I got rushed into hospital and they just look at your notes, they literally look like, well, what is this big word? Like even the doctors, like I've been in so many appointments where a doctor's Googled in front of me, but I'm not really like offended by that. I'd much rather you be honest than try and pretend.
Definitely.
Super rare illness. I don't expect you to know, but I don't like it when doctors kind of nod and act like they do. I'd much rather you be honest and say, wow, I haven't heard of that before, and know a little bit more about it. Get to know a little bit more about it. So yes, it's a big word, makes me sound fancy.
Very fancy, very fancy.
A new one for everyone.
It's amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more about like the pageants and things that you do? Because I'm quite interested to hear more about that. I know you're wearing your sash today. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on like one of the minute snippets on Instagram, Jayde actually is wearing her sash today. What does it actually say on it? Can you show us?
I'll stand up, if you can say.
Yeah, stand up.
So this is my Ms. Young European International Birmingham sash.
Wow.
So I am representing Birmingham in the Young European Miss International Finals in November. I have competed the last 2 years. I came third place the first year and first runner-up second place last year.
Nice.
It's my, yeah, it's a big dream of mine. I danced for years and my health stopped my dance really, which is, it's sad, but it happened, and I wasn't ready to let go of the glitz and the glamour and the getting dressed up and having your hair and makeup done that I just love so much. And pageants to me are really important. I think people have a really bad misconception of them, especially in this country. Young European Miss International, they represent women of all shapes and sizes, and the most important thing that they have that kind of drew me to that system is a big sense of community. You're never going to be successful in pageants if you are not willing to put the hours in, be a part of your community, be driven, and be passionate about something. It really does, it makes all the difference. You have to have a platform, and my platform is raising money for the clinic where I have treatment, so it's nice to be able to do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's so good, and it's really making like the real positive out of everything that you
yeah it's real girl power, absolutely.
Love it.
just for the people, like not just for the people who compete, but the people who are all these girls up and down the country that go and get involved in their communities and platforms that they care about. People who come and watch in the audience, watch online. I think it's a real sense of making a difference. It really is. And a lot of people just think pretty dress, walk around the stage, smile. And it's so much more than that. I wish it was that. It would be so much more stress free. But no, there's a lot to it, and I love it, and I've been working really hard, so
yeah. Oh no, it's crossed for you. It's amazing. So how did you first get into pageants and things?
Well, because I couldn't really dance, I needed something else to kind of do with that energy and time. And I think also having a platform that I cared so much about and wanting to raise the money for charity, not really knowing how to go about it, it just seemed the right thing for me. And I've made some good friends, met some really lovely girls, and yeah, I love it. I can't see myself ever going back. I just love it. It's great.
So what do you have to actually do in a pageant? What so you say it's not like walking around in a pretty dress and stuff. So do you have to actually do?
You do have to do it. But there is other things. So interview, that is a big section of a pageant. You get to talk about what you care about, why you're kind of right for the job, because it is an important job. At the end of the day, you are a role model to a lot of young girls. You have to do charity appearances, raise money, be an ambassador, be a big part of your community. And then you have the on-stage side of things, which is the bit that everyone loves. The beautiful dresses. So in Yummy, I've got a evening wear dress, red, white and blue wear, and fashion wear, which is probably my favourite. So yeah, and they're all a bit secret at the moment, my outfits, but I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm honestly like, I can't sleep. I'm that excited about it. It's excitement and nerves, but I just I'm so excited and scared.
Oh no, it's exciting. Oh my gosh. Do you know what's really interesting as well? It's quite interesting what you were saying about like being anxious and then being like really excited, because it's actually the same biological reaction that happens in your body. So
I never know which I'm feeling.
That's the thing. If you tell yourself you're excited, despite what you're feeling, just tell yourself you're excited, then that releases happy chemicals in your brain rather than the stress hormones in your brain.
Yeah.
So you don't get the negative effects of it, which is amazing. So there you go. There's a tip of today, everybody.
Thank you. Learn something new every day.
Amazing. No. Okay, so shall we go on to some super quick secrets round?
Sure.
Oh yes, I love this round. It is one of my favourites. Okay, so we get to find out a little bit more about Jayde, everybody. So what is the most inspiring book that you've ever read? Let's start with that one.
The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
I love that book.
Yeah, so all about being really positive, law of attraction.
Yes.
I think our words and our thoughts are so powerful. And I'm always telling my fiance, because he can be one of those people that, you know, let something really little get him down, and I just think you have to turn it around as quick as you can, because you don't want that to happen. So you have to be positive all the time, as much as you can.
Yeah, as much as you can.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's easy for me to say.
Yeah, no, I have 100% behind that one. So enabled warriors listening, we highly recommend the book The Secret. Please go and have a look at it, go and have a read. It is amazing.
Give it a go.
So what is your favourite comfort food?
Wow, I'd have to say a Sunday dinner.
Oh, you can't beat a
People
Sunday dinner.
say, like, if you had to choose one meal to live off for the rest of your life, mine would always be a Sunday dinner.
Yeah?
Always. And it's got to have broccoli. I love broccoli.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's so weird.
So for anyone outside the UK listening, you actually cannot beat a Sunday dinner. It is the best thing ever. So go and Google it, guys. Go and Google it, what a Sunday dinner is. You will not be disappointed, I promise.
And you can have it on every day.
Well, you can, but it's not the same, is it? It's not the same.
No,
You have to allot a certain amount of time for it, because it's quite a lengthy one to make. And then as soon as you've eaten it, you can't. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have to sleep, because that is a heavy meal.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever done?
I've done a lot of weird things. Really weird that I was like kind of involved with / saw the other day, which I just think is hilarious.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen, but with the parties that I do, something that we do is like the character meet and greets.
Yes,
so,
yes.
like the princesses to go to the kids' parties and meet the children. So I've got a naughty little puppy. He's actually asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, he's well, we won't use naughty, we'll say challenging. And the other day the girls were all like in their costumes ready to go to a party, and they left the door just a tiny bit open, and he's bolted, ran down the street, and we've got Elle, Moana and Elsa chasing the dog down the street, and I live on a main road, like everyone's just stopping in the cars, like what's going on? He's like, every time they get close to him, he's running away. It was just, it was the most bizarre thing. And I was so concerned about getting him back inside, I didn't really think about what was going on. And then when I got him back in the house, I was like, that was so weird. It was like a movie. They're just chasing him in their ball gowns and their heels.
Wow.
You see some weird sights outside my house. Absolutely.
I could just picture it. I could just picture all the princesses in a row just running after this dog down the street.
Oh, it was so funny. So strange.
Wow. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. What's your favourite place that you've ever visited?
Disney World.
Oh, Disney. Yeah. It's got to be.
I've only been around 40 times.
Only?
Really? I know, it's a bit embarrassing. I'm a little bit obsessed.
Oh, but you got engaged at Disney, didn't you?
Yeah, so we got engaged on Disney's private island, Castaway Cay, in the Caribbean. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, it's best day ever. I loved it. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's incredible.
He did good there.
He's a keeper.
Yeah, after 13 years, I guess he'll do, you know.
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Dog person, definitely.
Yes,
yeah, my little boy is like, he's like my baby. He really is. Like, I can't do anything without him, and I mean anything. He sleeps in the bed. He goes in the shower, whether I want him to or not.
Really?
Yeah, he's crazy.
Oh,
I'm really impressed by how good he's been throughout this, because normally he's like on my lap climbing all over me, but I tired him out before. So he'd be well behaved.
Amazing, I love that. What would you say is the scariest thing that you've ever done?
So when I was in the process of like finding a diagnosis, and I'm sure many people that kind of listen to this have probably had a similar experience, but I had to have bone marrow taken.
Oh,
have you ever had that?
No. What was that like?
So obviously they might be getting a bit graphic here, but they can obviously numb your skin, but they can't they can't numb your bones. You're always going to feel, you know.
Yeah.
So once and I don't know how much you know about it, but when you have bone marrow, you have to keep really still because it's quite dangerous. And they're next to a lot of nerves and things in your spine, medical term. And yeah, the skin is numb, so you can't feel the needle go in. But then once they're kind of in your bone, you can feel everything, but you have to keep still throughout it. And it's just a horrible process. And when I think that like children have to have that done, it's just, yeah, it was scary. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. I really wouldn't. But I got through it. Yeah, it was pretty frightening. Yeah, not gonna lie.
Oh gosh, that sounds horrendous.
Yeah, not the nicest.
No. So I've had a lumbar puncture, which is where they take some of the spinal fluid out.
Yeah.
I imagine it's worse than that.
Yeah, I think it's quite similar. I don't really know the difference with like the fluid and when they actually take the marrow. I think that's where they go like into the bone, but it will be a similar process. Yeah, was it pretty painful? Yeah. Ugh.
I wouldn't want to have that again. Let's put it that way. No. So what is your favourite hobby?
I love doing pageants and I love dance. Yeah.
Nice.
Couldn't choose one over the other, but yeah, they do kind of go hand in hand. Being a dancer helps a bit.
Yes.
Helps you on stage.
Yeah. Definitely with like presentation and things, I imagine.
Posture, yeah.
Posture, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Are there any hobbies that you've ever wanted to try out but you've not quite done it yet?
I'd love to do like a winter sport like skiing or snowboarding, but I come from a family that loves the heat. Like my mom, if I said to my mom we're going for she just wouldn't. Like we're going skiing, she would hate it. She has to be on a beach and come home with a tan. So yeah, but definitely on my bucket list, I'd love to learn to ski.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you skied?
No, it's not something that I've ever done, but I am like one of the clumsiest people you've ever met, so I will feel myself on the slope, to be honest.
Don't know if I'd be good at it. I feel like in my head I like gonna have this really cool outfit. It's gonna be amazing, and then I'll probably go and it would be awful. So I don't know.
You never know until you try.
Exactly.
So yeah, and you can still look cute in the outfit when you start drinking hot chocolate. You look Kevin thing, so I mean, fine.
Drinking my hot chocolate at après ski in my expensive outfit. Oh dear.
Amazing. So where can other warriors find out more about who you are and what you do? So
on my Instagram, which is at JNJ Event Planning. They can follow me on there. It's kind of, I have to be honest, it's not a business account and it's not a personal account. It's both.
Okay.
I tried doing the whole separate personal account. I'm just a bit lazy with it, and I feel like I'm quite an open book. What I do in terms of events is quite intrusive into your life. I come and get to know you really well and put together something for a really special occasion. So I feel like I am what I am, you know. My personal life is on there also, and I'm just quite an open book. But I think it's an industry where you have to be honest and be yourself. So it works for me.
That's good. Plus, it's hard to keep up with two accounts, if I'm honest. I find it hard to keep up with one.
And a lot of my clients, they become friends, so it's nice to be able to share things with them. But I have had to create a separate Instagram for the dog.
I love that. That's so cool.
I just feel like I was annoying people with pictures of him, so he needed his own account. So yeah, he has his own little Instagram. He has about 40 followers, some human, some dogs. Mostly dogs.
Wow, a lot of dogs on Instagram. I didn't know that.
I know.
Oh, Lucy, we need to get you an Instagram account.
Oh, your little dog.
Yeah, she's asleep under my desk at the minute. She's like a little fluffy dachshund thing.
Oh, cute. I love dogs.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming, because it's just amazing. So thank you so much for sharing all your experiences and things. And remember, warriors, you can catch up with Jayde at J&J Event Planning on Instagram. So thanks so much, Jayde.
Thank you.
If you want to fight back against your invisible owners and help take the dis out of disability, then join the tribe on Facebook, facebook.com/enabledwarriors. If you love this podcast, click that subscribe button and never miss another episode. And remember, warriors, stay enabled.